Hello AOS fans, Robin here, back once more with a deck review for you. This week I'm going to be playing Thundrik's Profiteers, my first run out with these guys. Sort of always a little bit bewildering when you first pick up a new, warband, and I've got to try and create something good with them. I feel like as they lean into the score immediately cards for their Inspire condition, then actually it's not massively different to many warbands, and although they have no magic, then they function perhaps a little bit like Stormsires in the sense of getting those score immediately objectives. Maybe. I'm not sure. I just kind of feel like there's many same cards. In fact, there's many same cards in the deck from my Godsworn Hunt deck as well. But the objectives are a little bit different. So let's run through those. So we've got change of tactics escalation. Okay, they're not that different. But then the bigger they are. So if you take somebody out with a damage characteristic of 1, then you get a score. The bigger they are, that's a score immediately. And quite likely to score with these guys. They've got lots of range attacks. Quite a few of them do 1 damage. Some of them do 2 damage. You've got to watch out for that. Headshot. Thundrik specific card, get a crit or successfully score a critical hit. Hopefully I can do that. Pete, I think, pulled that off in a couple of games I played against him, so hopefully I can do the same. Now I've deviated a little bit. The temptation to go for something like solid gains and superior tactician was definitely there for this deck, and I wanted to try to use perhaps some different restricted cards. So I've gone for a bit of a gamble. I've gone for Sound Finances, which is a Profiteers specific card, and Hoarder, which is a third end phase card, and requires having 9 glory. Now this may be a massive mistake, but I just thought I'd try it to see whether it worked. By the end of most games I have sort of 5 unspent glory, and if I can score Sound Finances, I'm already on the way to getting Hoarder with that too. So we'll have to see. I mean, this could be a mistake, but I kind of just wanted to try it, and I wanted to make it a bit more thematically interesting from the Profiteers' point of view. They are making a profit after all, one would hope, and therefore, yeah, maybe we can score these glory cards. Obviously there is a risk there, as it might cut down the number of upgrades I can play. We'll just have to say it's a little experiment, a little bit thematic, and a little bit to make the deck mine rather than sort of other people's. Calculated risk is, I think, in most decks now. We've talked about this before, I think, but I love the way this card, although everybody has it, it's an easy score. I love the way it actually opens up the game a little bit, puts more lethal hexes in there, which I think people tended to shy away from unless they were playing the ghosts, because why bother? It's just a way of killing, of dying, and I'm still not overly sold. I think maybe, although you do score that 1 glory, which can be great, and it's could potentially lead to superior tactician in cards like that, you do risk. I don't know whether the gain outweighs the risk. I'd love to know. It's hard to know. Really, I guess that's what's calculated risk, and somebody should calculate it. Death from Afar is a must-have, I think, for Thundriks, or everybody, I think, has a 3 range attack, so you've got a very good chance of scoring this. Get the heads. Well, Iron Hell has knockback. Hopefully I can score it, but he won't get to the 4 sword. There's a reasonable chance he might just score a hit and get that knockback for getting the heads. And Hoarders I've already mentioned. Keep them guessing. Kind of funny enough, went between keep chopping and keep them guessing. Because you can't really put both in the deck. If they came out together, you'd be a bit stuffed. But keep chopping, you've got a good chance of scoring because you've got lots of people with range attacks, which makes keep chopping quite easy. But keep them guessing, you've got a reaction. Thundrik's got a reaction, and that doesn't mean you do have to activate him to use it, but Thundrik's got a reaction, and again you've got options for moving and charging and going on guard to score change attacks and things like that. So keep them guessing in there. I'm not sure whether keep them chopping would have been better. I don't know. Strong start. Score this immediately if you're the first fighter. I kind of like the Profiteers for this card. They've got some strong fighters, so that they are likely to be difficult to whittle down, and therefore more of a chance of scoring strong start, I think. And then finally, what armor? You've got some cleave options, so what armor I think is worth having. Moving on to my gambits, I've just gone for 10. We've got the Grand Clash coming up, trying to cut down the deck to keep it as sleek as possible. So Distraction, because you do sometimes need it. Fueled by Fury for re-rolling dice. Useful for just useful full stop really. Hidden Path for getting across the board if I need to. Ready for Action, everybody loves a Ready for Action, and that's in there. And I've actually gone for Trap and Pit Trap because you've got that range attack, small amounts of damage. There's a good chance of scoring those. It actually makes me wonder whether I ought to put in a Master Stroke. We've got options to kill people with reactions here. Maybe that was something I should consider, but it's too late now. Prepared Position, let's put something on guard. Very handy for change of tactics. Seek the Sky Vessel. I think the Seek the Sky Vessel is a brilliant card. really helpful. 2 move actions with 2 fighters, doesn't require the leader being alive. I think it's really good. Well worth having in any deck. But, well, it's Profiteers only, so it's worth having in a Profiteers deck, but well worth having. Similarly, Toxic Gases is a really great card. I think people were sort of chuntering about this one, saying, "Oh, it's not as good as just being a push card," or people always take the option less bad for them, so it's a weak card. I think with the preponderance of lethal hexes in the game, I think it's a really, really good card. There's a reasonably good chance that whatever they do, they're going to suffer 1 damage. Pit Trap, I've already mentioned, and finally Standard Shoot. Standard Shoot is a handy card when you've got lots of shooters. Definitely worth having in the deck. Upgrades, nothing too controversial here, I don't think. Great Strength. Actually wonder whether Great Strength is that good a card for this deck, but it might come in useful. Ancestral Fortitude, +1 wounds, perfect for these guys. Rapid Reload, Iron Hail. I don't really like character specific cards, but this opportunity to make a reload, another volley gun attack with you to try and score, get the heads and such like, I think is vital. And of course, you don't have to push back, and you can then actually maybe kill somebody. So Rapid Reload is in there. Archer's Focus. Archer's Focus is perfect for these because of obviously the opportunity to roll dice on your range attacks. Challenge Seeker. You've got a few lower wound characters in this deck. They've obviously got some very high wound characters, got some lower wound fighter stats in there. Fame Wave for moving about the board. Fighter's Ferocity, definitely a good card if it's got a critical hit because you are rolling lots of dice. Glory Seeker, most warbands have 4 wound fighters in them, and so Glory Seeker is a good card for that eventuality. Potion of Rage, perfect for maximising those dice rolls. And finally, Tome of Offerings. Tome of Offerings I think is almost always worth having in any deck. Almost, maybe, possibly. Anyways, that is the deck. Let me know what you think. That's my first Profiteers deck. I'll be hoping it plays okay. And we'll find out on the table. Pete's bringing his Grand Clash honed deck, so it'll be interesting to see how the game goes. These guys are an outside chance for me for taking to the Clash, so we'll see how the deck performs. And until that time, we'll see you soon. Bye.